Just making sure I got everything ready here.
Yeah, same here.
Just making sure I got everything ready here.
Yeah, same here.
It's okay.
All right, I muted the right button there.
It's okay. Oh, wait. Uh-oh. Thought I had all of the steps, but somehow I lost step 5. Just a moment. How'd that happen?
I never do that, do I, Renee? Okay.
Should be right here.
Tahini.
Okay, there it is. I see. All right. Okay. Good evening, beloved mighty companions. Let's start this joining off by focusing on the light. Today's subject for the joining is based on the film The Room, and we talked and decided that Jesus was telling us that it is the desire to be afraid of letting go of personal identity and preferences. So as usual, just to stay focused on Jesus and the light, I'm going to go ahead and read the steps for joining, and we'll just continue from there. So when you're upset, ask me quickly for help. Let me direct you, whether you are to join with a brother or work with me in each case. When you join with a brother, pray together and ask me to help you. Focus on the light within, the light that you share, the only thing that is real. Ask me specifically what miracles need to be performed. Ask me what my guidance is for you to look at in this joining and share it with your brother. If an upset comes to mind that you would like help with, share it. For instance, if you are upset, admit you have a desire to feel upset. State the desired experience. What desire do you have to not be at peace? This is not the time for telling stories of your experience, as this will make them seem real. This is the time to admit you desire an experience that is not peaceful, and admit that you are willing to see it another way. So moving on, we'll just start with the desire, and we'll stay focused on this one desire for the remainder of this joining. He says, if you feel a desire to fear a loss of personal identity, personal preferences, you desire an experience of fearing a loss of personal identity and personal preferences. So ask me to show you what is below your level of awareness that is miscreating the experience of sickness. Of, in this case, sickness of the mind, of perceiving that there is loss in giving up personal identity and preferences, which only cover over the truth of what we are, which is light. So, what miracles are needed to clear this misperception? What desire am I trying to hide from the light beneath this feeling of holding on to preferences and personal identity? And let's just listen.
I hear relishing a sense of threat, like
like a looming like threat around the corner or something like that. Yeah. Okay, Jesus, do we desire a sense of threat? Yes, definitely. Yeah, that's a precious one. Okay, so we admit to this desire. The desire for threat, the desire for what is not peace. Can you help us to get in touch with the relishing of this experience of threat?
Feels like I'm going to die.
I heard from Jesus as this feeling of threat arises to just notice that something is still here. And what is still here might not be recognized always as the light, but that's what it is.
Yeah, this sense of threat can be almost anything, really, can't it?
Yeah.
Anything that's even just remotely bothering you, and
Yeah.
even a little tiny twitch.
Yeah. Doesn't it even say that in the inspirational quotes from the room session, any twitch when we see something on the screen is a desire for that experience. The screen in this case being what appears. Yeah. What it appears upon. Yeah. And it seems like anything could be a threat. So let's go back to the worksheet and read number 5. It says, I will remind you not to look upon the error and make it real.
I'm just trying to connect this to our preferences. I mean, I know, like, so.
The way that I was shown it is that personal identity is a ball of preferences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like an amalgamation of preferences. Yeah. And then we say, that's me.
So,
This is me right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like strawberry ice cream or, whatever.
mhm. So the original desire again was
the fear of the loss,
the
desire
loss,
for the fear of losing personal preferences and identity.
losing them. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
The whole ball, the whole kitchen caboodle. Yeah, that's scary to the ego.
Yeah, it feels like I'll totally disappear.
Yeah. What's coming up here is what if he makes me eat food that will make my body have problems? What if, it's just this whole chain of fears related to protection of the body and the body mind. Yeah. Protection. Well, it is just the body, actually, protection of the body, because the mind is infinite. So the mind requires no protection.
Well, the body, yeah, the mind with a capital M, no, but the body itself is just a reflection of the mind with a small m, if you like, the ego, right. And that's it's just like that does definitely feel threatened by the idea of not having these things going on,
wanting to have all the choices, but not take responsibility for the choice. To have all the choices.
And the other thing that came up in Messenger from Jesus was divine accountability. So we don't want to get too lost in two focuses, but it feels like it relates to what Renee is saying right now. Yeah. The ego does not, it wants to avoid divine accountability at all costs. It wants to make what's happening seem automatic and out of its control. Like a reflex.
Well, it scrambles to try to control.
Right.
Yeah, I can avoid threats through choice. If I make the right choices, then I can avoid threats.
Yeah. Or so we believe. So the ego believes. Continuing on number 5, I'll remind you not to look upon the error and make it real. This is a denial of yourself. Look not to Oh, look not at the experience. Join with me and look directly at the desire below the experience. And ask me if you desire the experience that you are having.
I admit this desire.
There's like an itch, yeah. I admit to that too. The desire for an itch to scratch of what if my personal identity and preferences aren't there anymore. It's like I have to keep grasping onto it to make sure it doesn't get taken away. Yeah.
Yeah, everything about the ego is fighting to keep that personal identity. That's its cover. We were messaging back and forth earlier.
Yeah. Really wants to like covet that experience. So if I tell you that you do desire it, admit that you do desire the experience. We can never do that enough. I just heard we can never do that enough. Admission of the desire is powerful. It is no longer holding on to the denial that you are indeed denying divinity. This leads to a very fast release and acceptance of the miracle. Let's look and see. Are we in a holding or releasing?
Yeah, because when you stop desiring it, you stop creating it, or making it, whatever you want to put it. I mean, just so it's just yeah. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see holding on to the fear of losing my personal identity because of accepting the light.
Yeah. Something came to mind. I once heard ACIM student Diana Markin say it was letting go of the desirables. And that is what the ego is fearing.
And why is it desirable? Because it gives you.
What is the desirableness about it?
It's a preference that pleases me.
Right. I heard juice. There's some kind of like juice that the ego is getting out of it, some kind of satisfaction, temporary gratification.
Pleasure, yeah.
It's not really a real
Validation.
form of pleasure. Yeah, validation.
Just recognition that it exists. Yeah.
It's like a striving. There's going to be some kind of a reward in this.
Jesus is showing me how it's like through all kinds of things too. It could be through hobbies, yoga practices, anything. It could be turned into this.
Yeah, it could look very spiritual.
Yeah.
Still the ego doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Are we noticing holding or releasing at this time?
Feels like there's some holding.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Sure.
some releasing, the softening up.
A little bit.
It is. It's a little bit. Yeah.
Mm.
It doesn't want to. It doesn't know what's on the other side. That's
Yeah,
what I heard.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, it might be terrifying. That, well, to the ego, might be scary. Yeah. Light test. Does the light feel scared? Does the light ever feel scared?
No.
No.
That effect, it doesn't know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think when you consider the fact that it could be absolutely anything at all, then you can let it, then you can let it go. It's like, because, you can let one little thing go, you can let anything go.
Right.
Well, the
Yeah.
ego loves hierarchy of miracles, hierarchy of difficulties. Some things are easier to let go of, and some things I know I'm just digging in. It's like, no, Jesus, you can't have this, but you can have this.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah,
Sometimes I've found a lot of comedy in sort of flipping the script. The spiritual ego might be really avoidant of bad or something like that. So what if everything's bad? My eyeballs are bad, my nose is bad, the table's bad, everything. It's just funny. It's like it just shows how faulty that is. It wants separation is what it wants.
yeah. It's like a phrase we used to use, from the sublime to the ridiculous, It's like, they're all the same,
I heard that there's a desire to keep like folklore, like lore, like tales, and in tales there's always going to be like, there were the good guys and they came and it goes. That one shows up a lot, actually. That one shows up a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm getting more and more these days. I'm just getting like feeling that all of these things, I experience something really seemingly very, very significant, and then that that could be very painful or whatever. And that goes away. And then I experience something else that's just trivial. I'm increasingly feeling it's just kind of that they're kind of the same, they're just like, I really am kind of feeling that these days.
Yes. Feeling a much more of a release,
I guess
starting to release now.
Yeah, it's just from the point of view of the light, they are, they're the same. And
and now it's oh, sorry, what, Martin?
No, go on.
Oh, now it's easier to see that the ego, it wants to jump to either extreme of the spectrum. It wants to get rid of my house, get rid of money, get rid of everything, or amass a bunch of everything. And it's like the spirit doesn't operate that way. So it's just silly. Yeah, it just starts to look silly.
Yeah. I mean, I just heard a little while ago, a friend of mine has COVID, and it's like, that's a pretty major thing, and he's but okay, so that sort of occupies my attention, and and I see it for what it is, it's concerning, but then
he's saying if we look at that as a symbol in the of a denial of divinity in the mind, that will be more helpful for that person that than anything else that we could do.
Yeah, a symbol. Yeah, right.
That
Yeah.
symbol is the desire to hold on to those preferences. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's trying to look at it in that way himself. It's just, yeah.
Well, we can see it's only light. We can see it as only light now,
Yeah.
and know that's a desire to hold on to a story.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ego's gonna say, no, I don't want to
It's
like
like
do
any
that.
other, But it is just like it's just like any other. And if we give it more attention, we give more sort of attention to it,
Yeah.
then something else that's,
Yeah, let's
we
stay
don't
in
need to
the
do that.
yeah.
It's like,
Stay in the looking and gently place that into the light, recognizing that it's no different than what we're talking about right now. It's the same.
yeah.
So let's just admit that we do have a desire to deny that we are light through experience, and then ask Jesus what to do and listen for the answer. I heard just stay with the looking.
Yeah, I heard just bring that desire to me, just bring all of them to me, just whatever they are, trivial or untrivial, just bring them to me.
Relishing the loss of loss.
Yeah. The ego has a sick fascination with loss. Sick as in ill, not a judgment, just unwell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keeping it. The relishing of loss is actually keeping it.
Keeping the experience of loss going.
Yes.
Yeah.
To keep it going.
The desire for an experience of loss. Yeah. Well, let's just ask to get in touch with the relishing. I heard as we go into this, just gently, gently, gently.
He's talking about how we love the drama and the excitement and so trauma of thinking somehow some aspect of ourselves is being threatened or attacked.
So it's exciting. It's got some kind of, there's that juice again. Yeah.
Definitely.
Payoff.
Yeah. Like an addiction.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was just showing me, just like there's no order of difficulty in miracles, there is no difference between one addiction and another. And that is, wow. The ego, it wants to kind of parse it out, like this judgment is this, and or this addiction is different than this one. Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah, this one really is an addiction. It's just the way things are.
Yeah, I just heard it. If you can hear that voice, then it is an addiction. It's an addiction to believing, oh, it's that lack of divine accountability. Yeah. And it's the lack of it is innocent. It is.
Hmm.
Although the ego would say otherwise. Hmm.
Fear of losing my personal identity keeps me from looking at my personal identity very closely and what it's really made up of.
Oh, like gently and closely, like instead of feverishly, and yeah.
Instead of running away from looking at it.
Yeah.
It's like tossing out my divinity, just tossing it out.
I'm upset because I see a meaningless world, and if the world's meaningless, then who cares? Toss it out, whatever. Doesn't matter. Or I think I see a meaningless world, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, where loss seems to be everywhere.
Loss is everywhere, so who
I
cares? Doesn't
desire to see a
matter.
meaningless world. I desire, though, to see a meaningless world.
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah.
I want to see that meaningless world.
It gives me license to be sloppy.
Mhm.
No discernment. I don't need discernment because it's all meaningless. No, don't need to listen to guidance. That's a great way for the ego to deny guidance. Yeah. It's like it takes part of what the Course or a New Covenant says and just kind of runs with it. He says, look at actions that arise from a mind at peace. Don't imagine actions that arise from a mind at peace. Actually look.
Well, then you're actually in the light.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, and there's no
Thought.
form or image to it or thought to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he says it's not an idealization. It's not an idealization.
It's just silence, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful silence, beautiful feeling. Mm-hmm.
Mm. Let's do this.
Who am I without my preferences?
Like Byron Katie, who would you
Feels-
be without that thought? Yeah.
Feels like I'm pretty okay. If anybody else. Feel pretty okay.
Yeah, we can notice that. We can notice that.
Mm,
Really notice that. Yeah.
yeah.
Are we ready to receive a miracle on this desire, Jesus?
Mm. Good.
It feels like it.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah. What are we at on the clock so far?
It's 7:34
Oh,
or
okay.
thereabouts. Mhm.
Um,
I was just hearing that maybe we could just ask about the desire once more and just see if there's anything else we need to see.
sure. Yeah, I just saw that there's something he wants to show us in regards to those notes about the room. Okay, this is where the eyes landed. All experiences are distractions from accepting the divine.
Yeah, in the movie, he's saying in the movie The Room, um, the two lead characters just wanted to revel in all the different experiences that they could manifest, and
Yeah.
did not get the connection between what they were wanting and what it was actually doing for them, what it was really giving them or not giving them.
Yeah, and he was just showing me that the temporary nature of all things that are finite, that's what that was symbolized by, where when he tried to take the money out and then it just turned to dust. Belief in time once it exits the house. Which is really interesting because from a selfless place, it could be a very beautiful thing, but with an ego, it's like, oh no, I want to take that thing and I want to take it and use it.
Make it real.
Yeah, I want to make it real. I want to make it more and more real.
Yeah.
Play and play and play endlessly.
Yeah, in the dance of death. There's that secret wish. It's like play and play, and hopefully there will be an end. It's because I'm suffering. It's like a form of suffering. Because you could tell too in the film they looked unhappy even though they had all those things. Almost like all the joy that was experienced from it was just a distraction from the misery underneath.
Mm. Mm.
Oh, and there it is, the preferences, the identity, the preferences being used to cover over divine light, quiet joy.
Yeah.
The desire for thrill is a denial of divinity. Yeah. The biggest twitch is keeping the desires.
Is keeping the desire?
Yeah, the biggest twitch is keeping the desires. That was another one on the list. That one is very deep. Wow. Ooh. Oh my.
Yeah, I can also see, he's also saying that, see how I think my happiness is tied up in getting what I want and meeting my preferences. I think that's heaven.
Oh, and now it's easy to see that if that would be true, that would mean that I was unhappy before they happened.
Yeah.
So how can that be true happiness? That can't be perfect happiness.
Yeah. We just shifted around.
Yeah. I've now put the happiness outside me, and I've got to keep accumulating and consuming in order to keep it around, which is eventually going to run out because it's all finite.
It's always changing in form.
Oh, wow. Yeah, wish fulfillment is trying to get our desires to come to fruition. So we believe that by holding on to a desire for a puppy or an ice cream or whatever, that if we don't have that, we won't be happy. If we don't have that desire, we won't be happy. And Jesus is saying, give me that desire for the puppy and the ice cream, and I'll give you something way better. I'll give you actual happiness. That is funny.
Yeah, can the awareness of light really be lost? Can we really lose awareness?
No. No, absolutely not.
Can only appear to be lost.
Right.
In the movie, there seems to be a threshold. There's an inside and an outside. There's inside the house and there's outside the house, and there's that threshold of once something goes past it, it ceases to exist. But he's just showing that that thoughts do not leave their source.
Right. And that was kind of shown through the entirety of the film all the way to the end, because even when she was sitting in the hotel room after they had supposedly left the house, the light started flickering. Oh, we're still in the room. It's like thoughts don't ever, we can never leave home. It's just the ego is afraid of that idea, but it's actually our saving grace is that we can never leave God, ever.
So just to let you know, it's a little past 7:40.
Okay. Well, I'm feeling complete. Is everyone feeling complete?
Yeah, it was very lively. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. It wouldn't be lively without you. Yeah. All right. Well,
Everybody.
blessings, everybody, and have a wonderful evening or day or whatever it is, wherever you are. Bye-bye.